Hello, hello, hello. Thanks everyone for coming back to Sikich Live on this beautiful Thursday. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button, as I always say, to make sure that you get all of these notifications when we go live each Thursday at 2:30 Central Time for exciting topics in the business application world, modern workplace, infrastructure, IT, managed services, customer relationship management, security and compliance, and so much more. I can't list it all today. So we have a lot of videos going back. Gosh, I think this is probably around our 50th, 60th video of Sikich Live that we've done. So make sure to check out all of our videos on our LinkedIn page, Facebook, YouTube, and we also have a special Sikich Live location on our website as well at www.sikich.com. So make sure to check us out there and all of our past sessions we've done. So before I bring on our Sikich Live, the most important thing I can say is that we come to you live each Thursday so that you can ask us questions with all of our subject matter experts that are available to us, and we want to make sure that we're answering your questions live right here. So make sure to go in that chat box, go in the comment box, and ask us questions if something comes up. We're happy to answer it. So last year on Sikich Live, we spent an episode talking about Microsoft Catalyst, a methodology to help find business value before you implement new business applications. So now we have some real life stories of Catalyst in action, and I'm excited to bring on Debbie Altham, who's been on many times before. Hi, Debbie, and she's going to give us a refresher on Catalyst and where it can be useful in your company. Debbie, thanks for being here again and again and again. I can say that.
Oh, thank you, Michael. It's like I line up and say, pick me.
Yep, that's exactly right. So Debbie, I want to jump right into it. Some of us, like I mentioned, we're going to talk about Catalyst today, and we've talked about this before, you and I actually, on this Sikich Live last year. So can you give us a refresher of what Catalyst is? Just remind us.
Sure. So the formal description is it is a proven approach to build, plan, and execute business transformation strategies. It's a framework that's been promulgated by Microsoft, and a lot of partners are being trained in it. It's made up of 4 steps. It's called the IDEA framework. So I for inspire, D for design, E for empower, and A for achieve. So 4 steps. And really what it is it helps organizations go on a journey from understanding their business needs and then walking that through the business need through to the how you could address that business need through to the technology that might support the resolution of that need or the delivery of that need through to what the projects might look like, prioritizing, and it ends you with basically a roadmap as well as some like value-based assessments. So how much is it going to cost and where am I going to get the value from it? Yeah.
So at Sikich, we have a large focus on the manufacturing industry, right? We have proven practice and methodology that makes Sikich a go-to partner for the manufacturing industry. And so I kind of want to take a turn on this to talk about where Catalyst fits into manufacturers and how they benefit from it.
So, when you think about business applications, when you think about any technology, right, we often rush to solutions. We're busy going, oh, well, we need IoT and we think we need analytics and we think we need AI and maybe, factory of the future. I've been reading all of this stuff. What can blockchain do for me? That sort of thing. And we really rush to talking about these technologies in the context of the technology itself. And sure, the technology is an enabler, but you're never going to be successful rolling out a technology if you're really not got in mind what the business value you're wanting that technology to bring. So, it's no good rolling out a big IoT platform if you cannot even envisage deploying IoT in your products that you make. It's very difficult if a manufacturer, for example, manufactures equipment and wants to embed that equipment with IoT devices and sends it out to customers. If the customers are not at all interested in allowing you to have your equipment access the internet, for example. Similarly, your competitors might be doing something and you're thinking, heck, I need to do what they're doing to be able to remain relevant, to be current, and to have competitive or differentiated offers. I need to do that. So for manufacturers with, factory of the future, Industry 4, there's all this buzz about how manufacturing is changing, whether it be through 3D printing, IoT, robotics, augmented reality. There's all this stuff. And sometimes it's hard to know, one, what should I do? And two, what should I do first?
Right.
So I think the idea of this program is to help organizations really nail down the business drivers for the adoption of this technology and then take it through the journey to a point where it can be actually executed on. I mean, the last step of Catalyst is to achieve. And that's really to buy it, turn it on, get it working, get it done. So I think people benefit simply by tying that business value all the way through to what's being delivered.
Yeah, and I think an issue that happens is departments within every department has a different. Everybody wants something different in the next technology, in the next business application, and the next ERP that they have. And wants don't necessarily translate into what your business needs. The finance department, the marketing department, and the IT department, and And so I think that's an interesting. I think that's where Catalyst helps, right?
They're also fighting over funding, right? So the marketing people want to spend money doing this, and the sales people want to spend money doing this. Engineering want to do this. Product development, something else, customer service. So there is a limited funds. Nobody's got an open checkbook, right? And someone's going to have to tell marketing the reason why you're waiting is because this is going to bring a higher level of value to the business.
Yeah, and everything's 100% urgent, important. Right.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Yes. Well, that's great. I think that's something that I'm glad Microsoft is offering now to kind of set that framework so that it's not that the company has to think less, but rather they think more strategically.
You're right. And here is the thing, in the professional services game and in the things that we do, we've never gone about trying to convince someone they need technology without understanding we have to hang our hats on a pretty strong business case. ERP, no one buys an ERP for fun. That's not something you go out and do. You don't implement one for fun. You've always got a reason to do it. And I think professional services organizations like Sikich have always understood that. What I like about the Catalyst framework is it just gives us a structure that is proven. Microsoft have used lots of, expensive, high-paid analysts and people to try and put this together. And it's a reasonably straightforward process that, our clients have found in some cases actually enjoyable. So
yeah,
it's not rocket science. It's just the ability to remember to think, I think.
Exactly. Great. Well, so now that we have you have a use case in this scenario with Catalyst now, right?
Yeah, so we've got a couple actually, and maybe I'll talk about two of them. So if I was asked, who should think Catalyst might work for us, is people who go, what should we be doing? And how should we prioritize what we're doing with our technology? So it's really interesting. In one example, we had an organization who had some choices in ERP system. So a choice between the two Microsoft products, Business Central and Finance and Operations, or Finance and Supply Chain Management. And the question was, which one should we use? So we could have gone into the battle of the ERPs and how do you enter a sales order? How do you enter sales order? How do you do this? How do you know, and that would have been what maybe typically organizations would have expected. Just show us how it works, and we'll compare the two and decide which one works the better, because one's more expensive than the other. Does it justify the cost? But instead, from a Catalyst perspective, we looked at things like business risk, business growth, areas of expansion where the business would be going, competency in the business in terms of wanting to, to build competency internally or outsource that competency. Which way did they want to go? And in fact, the decision became pretty easy and a lot quicker than it would have if we'd gone to a shootout for features and functions. Because at the end of the day, the features and functions were the nuts and bolts. We wanted them to look up away from those features and functions and say which one fits the way we want our business to go in the future. So that was a really good example. The other one is an example where an organization had decided that they needed a particular solution for field service. And it was, we'll just go and buy a field service solution. Is this the right solution for us? Is it going to do the thing we need it to do? So again, we started at the beginning. Where are you today? Where do you need to be? Who are the players? Who are the stakeholders? Who are the customers? Who are the vendors? Who are the users? Whose experience do you want to impact? The aim is for delightful customer experiences. What does that mean? So when we did all of that, we actually worked out that, in fact, they needed customer service, not field service, is really the catalyst to drive business change. So it was like, don't buy the wrong thing. So both of them ended up, the process was very effective, and we've done it before. We've done other scenarios, but I think it's really useful for people who are maybe ready to make a commitment, but want to be sure that it's the right commitment, or know they need to do all this stuff and want help trying to prioritize, or want help just putting together, forecasts, budgets, plans around that roadmap.
And so for these companies, did Catalyst help after Catalyst? We've got implementation, we've got training, we've got go live, we've got the whole shebang. Mm-hmm. Did Catalyst help in that part of the project?
Yeah, you know what? I think it helps from a psychological perspective. Because with these projects, it's really easy to get mired in the minutia, the detail, you're arguing about, little things that make little bits of difference or no difference at all, or you're over angst over this stuff. And what Catalyst does is it starts giving you the ability to see the wood for the trees, understanding that the goal is, increase customer satisfaction by meeting delivery commitments at a level of 99.95%. And does it really matter how you process a sales order if you are going to achieve that or better, and you're guaranteed to achieve that or better, or you're very, very certain that you can achieve that or better if you make the broader changes that you're going to make? And does it really matter what the software, how the software actually works? We really focus on those outcomes. The other thing is it gives you a bit of a touchstone, right? It's like your North Star. You're continually going, I have to make a decision between two things. Okay, let's assess that in terms of what we agreed was the business vision for this project. Mm-hmm. And that's often a good way to make a decision out of some of the simplest or, craziest of decisions that have to be made in these projects.
It helps always keep the goal in mind throughout the whole project.
Yep. And you know what? I think it's powerful in terms of communication of those goals too, because a lot of the time senior executives in an organization will have it very clear in their mind what they hope to achieve. And it makes sure that what they want to achieve is then communicated across everyone who's going to be involved in those projects. And everyone understands that they're contributing towards the achievement of those goals. So, yeah, I think it makes a difference.
Yeah, very cool. So I'm curious, from your expertise outside of Catalyst, you've helped, gosh, I want to say hundreds, right?
Wow, yeah. Something to do with my age.
No. And you've helped so many companies in their digital transformation journeys, especially in the business application area. Do you have any personal takeaways from using Catalyst? And follow-up question to that, is Catalyst right for everyone?
I've had people rock up and they say, we need this. We want to buy, we've got this money, we want to buy an ERP. And it's pretty hard to go, are you sure you want to buy an ERP? Why do you want to buy an ERP? But if you don't do that up front, everyone can lose track of the reasons why they're doing it halfway through a project that's costing a lot of money and is a lot of effort and a lot of disruption for businesses. So, you know what, I think, Michael, the idea that you can step back and you can tie it to the business strategy, I think is probably the most powerful thing any project can have, is that foundation in business value, right? You're not going to do it for fun. Now, is it right for everyone? Well, at Sikich, we really do focus on mid-market manufacturers. So we're not generally working with the Fortune 200 in terms of the work that we do. Is it right for everyone? Well, I'm going to say, if you can afford McKinsey or one of those guys, and you've been in there and they've done this all for you, and that you got to the end of it, you've got a very clear vision of where you're going, and you have participated in the process that's tied the business aims and objectives to the goals that you want to achieve, to the solutions that you feel that are going to, if you've done that hard work, why would you do it again with us? So long as you are able to share it, because as a organization that's involved in the deployment of these projects, we need to know this stuff. We need to know what's important for you. So is it right for everyone? I would say that this is really beautifully positioned for our mid-market manufacturing clients, because it is a little bit of that. I think Sikich's superpower is the ability to take the concepts, the principles, the philosophies, and the technologies available to those Fortune 200 and make them workable in this mid-market, right? So, and I think Catalyst is a great example of that. So, I'd say unless you've already solved all these problems and you're just coming with a shopping list out of the other end of it, I think that would be the occasion where maybe Catalyst is not right. Sure. But most business owners, whether they're in the business or they're shareholders, most of them expect you to be able to look and to do that direct line of sight between business goal and investment in technology. So,
right. And if you're the project manager, the head person on that project, and you start off with Catalyst and get your executive team involved, it looks pretty good for you too, right?
That's right. And, these projects can be really hard work. And if you're the person that has all of a sudden got more work to do,
right?
Because, it's all about data these days, and data has to get in there somehow, sometime. It's a person. And if you're the one that actually has been promised the world and everything's going to be sweetness and light, and you've actually got some really different work to do, you have to relearn your job, all the rest, to be able to say that they're contributing to the company achieving these broad, long-term strategic objectives, sometimes you need that just to, to know that it's worth all that extra effort.
Right.
Yeah.
So, with the use cases you have so far, any tips for people just getting started?
Well, what I would say is engage with a organization like Sikich who understands the process, who can give you a pretty clear, what's the inspire step, what's an envisioning workshop, what's the solution assessment, what do you do, how long does it take, how much does it cost, and start projects with the idea that this is something that will give a lot of value all the way through the process. So my advice is to, you're thinking about digital transformation, factory of the future, industry 4. You really want to, harness the power of some of those new technologies. Is that a little bit trite just to say, give us a call?
Sure. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the tip.
Yeah. Well, Debbie, I don't have any more questions for you. I'm glad that we could go over a little bit about Microsoft Catalyst and discuss that methodology. And if anyone's looking for those digital transformation, new business applications, it doesn't have to be so hard. We are here to help, and we're waiting for your calls. So visit www is at least Debbie is visit www.sikich.com to learn more. And thanks for being with us on this Thursday. Thanks, Debbie, for being here again. I'm sure you'll be on next week, maybe the week after that. We'll have to see. And thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.